Michael Carter stood in the lobby of the Grand Marina Hotel, watching guests check in with practiced efficiency. At 42, he'd built this five-star property from nothing. But today he wore a simple gray shirt and jeans. His 7-year-old daughter, Emma, needed him at her school play that afternoon, and he dressed casually for the occasion. He'd arrived early to quietly observe his staff, something he did occasionally to stay connected to the daily operations. The hotel meant everything to him, but Emma meant more. Since losing his wife 3 years ago, balancing fatherhood and business had become his greatest challenge. As Michael approached the front desk to check on a guest complaint, Jennifer Morrison, the front desk manager, turned sharply. She was 35, impeccably dressed in burgundy, and known for her rigid standards. Her blonde hair was pulled back severely, matching her expression. "Excuse me, sir," she said coldly, blocking his path. "Guests are not permitted behind the desk." Michael smiled gently. "Jennifer, I just wanted to—" "I don't care what you wanted," she interrupted, her voice rising. Several guests turned to look. "This is a 5-star establishment. We have standards. You can't just wander around in your gym clothes disrupting my staff." The assistant manager, Robert Chen, stepped forward nervously. "Ms. Morrison, perhaps stay out of this, Robert," Jennifer snapped. She turned back to Michael, her face flushed with anger. "I've had enough of guests like you thinking you own the place." Before Michael could respond, Jennifer's hand flew across his face with a sharp crack that echoed through the marble lobby. The sting burned his cheek, but the shock hurt more. Around them, staff members froze. Guests gasped. Time seemed to stop. Michael touched his face, feeling the heat spread across his skin. He looked at Jennifer with profound sadness rather than anger. For 9 long minutes, he said nothing. He simply stood there, watching her confident expression gradually shift to uncertainty as the silence stretched on. Robert had gone pale. He recognized Michael, and his hands trembled as he realized what had just happened. Finally, Michael spoke, his voice quiet but clear. "Jennifer, do you know who I am?" Her confidence wavered. "You're just some guest who—" "I'm Michael Carter. I own this hotel." The color drained from Jennifer's face. Around them, staff members began backing away slowly. Jennifer's mouth opened and closed, but no words came. "For 9 minutes," Michael continued softly, "I've been standing here thinking about what just happened. Not just to me, but about what this moment reveals." He turned to address the gathered crowd of employees. "I built this hotel on a simple principle: treat every person with dignity and respect. Every guest, every colleague, every human being who walks through these doors deserves kindness." Jennifer had begun to cry, mascara streaming down her face. "Mr. Carter, I'm so sorry, I didn't know. That's exactly the problem," Michael interrupted gently. "You didn't know who I was, so you felt justified in treating me poorly. But kindness shouldn't depend on someone's status or appearance. It should be automatic, offered freely to everyone." He looked around at his staff, many of whom looked down at their shoes. "How many of you have stood by while guests were treated dismissively? How many times have we forgotten that each person has their own story, their own struggles?" The lobby remained silent, except for Jennifer's quiet sobbing. "I'm a single father," Michael continued, his voice growing emotional. "I lost my wife to cancer 3 years ago. Today I dressed casually because I'm going to my daughter's school play. She's playing a sunflower in the spring pageant, and she's been practicing her lines for weeks." He paused, composing himself. "The man you saw wasn't just a guest in gym clothes. He was a father trying to do his best, someone carrying grief and responsibility, someone who deserves the same courtesy you'd show anyone else." Robert stepped forward, tears in his own eyes. "Mr. Carter, sir, what do you want us to do?" Michael looked at each staff member individually. "I want you to go home and think about who you've become. Ask yourselves if this is the kind of person you want to be, if this is the kind of workplace we want to create together." He turned to Jennifer. "You're terminated, effective immediately, not because you didn't recognize me, but because your actions showed a fundamental failure of character that I cannot overlook." Then, to everyone's shock, he addressed the entire staff. "And I'm closing the hotel for 3 days. Every single one of you will attend mandatory training on empathy, service, and human dignity. Those who don't wish to return after that can collect their final paychecks. Those who stay must commit to building something better. As security escorted Jennifer out, Michael walked slowly toward the exit. At the door, he turned back one final time. We're all fighting battles others can't see. The least we can do is be kind along the way. Outside, the afternoon sun warmed his still stinging cheek. Michael checked his watch. He had just enough time to reach Emma's school. As he drove, he thought about the lesson he'd inadvertently taught that day. Sometimes it takes a moment of cruelty to remind us of the power of kindness. Sometimes we need to lose everything to remember what truly matters. 3 months later, the Grand Marina Hotel had transformed. Staff members greeted every guest with genuine warmth. Jennifer's position had been filled by Robert, who led with compassion, and Michael made it a point to walk the floors regularly. Always dressed casually, always approachable, always reminding his team that titles matter far less than treating people right. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment below about a time when kindness changed your perspective. Your stories matter, and sharing them helps us all remember what's truly important.